In today's video, I wanted to break down something that comes across every single time when I'm talking about either an altcoin or Bitcoin and the process of hodling or holding. There's always someone in the comments that says, I'm not bothered about trading. I'm not bothered about DeFi. I'm not bothered this year about doing anything with my crypto, aka, even dollar cost averaging. I just want to hold my crypto for the long term and then sell it when the price goes up. Now, you would think that in theory, this particular process and this particular mindset would be a good one in terms of you're going to win in the end, right? So the idea, obviously, if you're specifically on about Bitcoin, is the fact that you can see the chart in front of me. If you plan on in the next 10 years selling Bitcoin, if you've got it now, and simply holding it, then in theory, the price is going to be higher, right? Historically, 60% a year in the last 5 years, it has gone up. Now, personally, I don't expect it to go up at the same rate in the next 10 years than the previous 10 years. If we were to look at the price, 10 years ago, back in 2016, it's literally like $500, And the price to where it is now, or where it went to in the bull run, 125k is insane. So it's not to say that it's going to go from 70k now to, I don't know, 7 million or something. However, you would expect it to mature a bit, but you would expect in the next 10 years it to maybe be a lot more than 70k. So I get it when guys say, all I'm going to do is hold it, and then in 2036, I'm going to sell it, and then I'll be happy chilling. My issue with that is, why would you ever sell your Bitcoin? Because if you think about it in terms of the real world and assets, people don't really, if you think about it, really rich families, they kind of hold on to these historic properties or real estate forever. And I don't mean as in like they live forever. Well, you could argue that, but it gets passed down and down through generations, and the wealth kind of gradually increases as you go down through the families. And I have heard people where they talk about leaving Bitcoin for their family to build upon in the future. But that poses the question. So you've got two things, and what I talk about is definitely the middle aspect. The first thing is just selling it in 10 years and that's it, and enjoying the money. But then the issue arises that if it keeps going up and you want to leave some to your family, you've just cashed out to a depreciating asset, which is the cash. Yeah? And let's be honest, when you sell your Bitcoin, like 5 years later, you're going to be pissed off that the price keeps going up. Yeah? The other aspect of it is just keeping it and not selling it, but not being able to enjoy something that you took the risk on and you invested in for the future. And again, yes, everything comes down to this. Everything comes down to this slide. The accumulation and the ability to use Bitcoin long term and still hold it. So this specific strategy, and again, it's available if you want to access it in the free DeFi playbook. This asset can be used to generate more of the asset or enjoy the income off it without selling it. So with the strategy that a lot of the guys in the group are doing and that I've spoken about, You don't have to do obviously the dollar cost average bit, but if you take a loan against your Bitcoin, 25 to 30% out, that USDC that you get out, you can first of all just use it for whatever you want. But obviously, I'm going to say that another way you can use it is to put it in liquidity pools, gain that monthly income, and then the monthly income that you get off that, you can either build more Bitcoin with it or you can spend it on whatever you want. So we talk about pensions, we talk about savings. You know, in the UK, for example, I will get a pension, a private pension that I've paid into. I think it's age 55, and that is the same a lot of people. Where you get a certain amount each month because you've saved up over the year and you've got like a lump sum. You can take some as a lump sum and you can take some monthly. This is the way of doing it, but instead of it being a pension that will evaporate and will not be passed on to family, this way you'll always have the Bitcoin. You can take income off it, and then obviously it can be passed on going forward. And you never have to sell the Bitcoin, because I don't know why you would sell. Because I think that a lot of people come up with this strategy where it's like, well, I don't need to worry about prices. And we don't worry about prices because obviously we use the DeFi pools. But some will say, I don't have to worry about prices because I'm just going to sell it. I'm going to hold and sell it in 10 years. But then the tables will turn, because will you actually sell it? That is the thing. Will you actually sell the Bitcoin? Because if you believe in it long term, you know it's going to keep going up. So you're just going to sell an asset that's going up in price. And once that money's gone, once you've sold it, that's it. You know? I saw an article as well the other day about property, right? At the rate of property increasing in terms of being built, let's say in 10, 20 years, and the rate of replacement in the UK, i.e., you have to have 2.1 kids to replace the population. Despite immigration in the UK, in about 20 years, the population is going to be stagnant, going to be falling due to declining birth rates worldwide. So there will be a point where the historical rise of property hits a point where it stagnates and doesn't go up as quick as possible. So people may think, well, I'm going to cash out my Bitcoin, then I'm going to buy property. My question to that was, why would you leave, in my opinion, the asset of the future, BTC, for an historical asset that may be slowing down a lot because it requires, you know, you can't build millions of homes and millions of apartments, etc. per year if there's not millions and millions coming in or being replaced. Because if you actually understand the replacement rate, you'll understand that it can drop very quickly, right? If you don't keep it at 2.1, it will regress and go down very quickly. And that is what is going to happen with the world population. So there'll be less demand for housing, and obviously that'll affect the property prices, etc. There's only 21 million Bitcoin, and there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. There'll be a halving every 4 years. Miners get less rewards every 4 years. So it's only going one way, in my opinion. And I would never sell it. I would never sell it personally. But if you're just in the mindset of a lot of people who watch the channel, that is, I'm just going to hold and sell my Bitcoin in 10 years or whatever, maybe reconsider. Maybe have a look into this particular method. I know a lot of people say, well, I'm going to take a loan in 10 years. But I don't see why you would wait 10 years, because you can put that Bitcoin to work now and start earning an ROI from it now. So you're getting the best of both worlds. Keeping your Bitcoin, but also gaining an income. So just think about that. That's it for me today anyway. If you like my content, like, subscribe. See you all very soon.